So how long have you been writing for?
Oh my God, how old am I? I think like 10 years.
And what got you started writing originally?
Let me think. It's a unreasonably dramatic story, but when I was in 5th grade, my teacher had us write these like weekly essays, and he would give us these like stupid prompts that were just like fun and silly because we were like 10. And I worked so hard to make him proud of me, and I tried so hard to get A's, and he would always give me like 39 out of 40, like, so that I had to keep like working really hard. And I was so nervous because he was so hard on me, but we were doing these little like conferences with him, and he was going to tell us about our writing and how we were doing and what we needed to work on. And then my stomach was in knots. I was so upset. I was so nervous. And I went over to his desk, and he like looked at me over his little glasses, and he looked at his paper, and then he started laughing. And I was like, this can't be good. I was 10, and I had so much anxiety, and I was like, why are you laughing? And he was like, cause I just wrote go, go, go. And I was like, what does that mean? And he was like, you're my writing superstar. And it got really serious, and I was like, oh my God, and it freaked me out. And then I was floating. I was so excited, and then I decided that day that I was going to be a writer, and I am still. And it's crazy.
So you've been writing for a really long time.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to write your book?
That one is made up of poems that I've written over the last 3 years. When I wrote them, I didn't necessarily intend on all of them compiling in the way that they did. I just kind of wrote them to write them. And they made the cut, I guess. So 3 years, I guess you could say.
So what changed for you then? Because if you were just writing them for fun and everything, what changed and made you decide, oh, I'm going to put them in a book?
I have always known that I wanted to write a poetry book. I just didn't know how it was going to happen. So I just kept writing and writing and writing and hoping that something would stick sometime. And then eventually I had the opportunity. It was like a writing challenge. So you submit one poem for 21 days to this form, and then at the end they publish it. And I did it, and that's what it was.
And how long have you been interested in writing poetry in particular versus just writing? Has it been along the same timeline?
I got into poetry my sophomore year of high school, I think. And I didn't know anything about form, and I didn't know anything about what style or my voice as a poet, but I thought it was really fun and really pretty. And I started writing slam poetry because it felt like a really good, like, emotional outlet for me. But then as I get older and take more classes or whatever, I'm learning about the actual forms, and I understand it as an art form a little bit better. And it's just my favorite because with like writing novels and short stories, like I'm just not as good at writing plot. Like I can do it, but it takes a long time, and for me, poetry is like an outlet. And when I have like a ton of feelings, I don't want to sit down and like plan my world building. Like I just need to write it, and I just need to get it out. And a lot of the times, for me anyways, poetry's easier because they're usually shorter, and I can just focus on putting the words in a way that exemplifies how I actually feel.
Is there anyone or anything in particular that inspired you in your book, in your style of poetry and writing?
So many. I mean, I read so many poets. I really like contemporary poetry more than like the really old stuff that everybody thinks of when they think of poetry. Um, I like to read a lot of black poets and queer poets because they just are so good at it. They're better than me. Um, and it's amazing. Not that I'm not a queer poet, but I'm not a black poet, and they're amazing. Rudy Francisco is one of my favorites. Jericho Brown's one of my favorites. My poetry professors also have been really helpful. And then with my writing in general, I had a couple teachers in high school that were really important for me to like keep going and keep actually doing it.
And your book came out about a month ago now. Has anything changed for you since it's been out? Like your writing style, your plans, anything like that?
You know, not really. I mean, it was super strange because I had dreamed of having a book and holding it in my hands for my entire life. And then I got it in the mail and I just held it and cried and didn't know what to do. And then I just went about my day. And it was so strange to do that. It felt like the world was going to stop because I put so much pressure on it for the last decade of my life. And nothing really happened. Like I will earn money from it, but I'll get paid annually, which is super strange, but that's how this one is, I guess. So I'm not really focused on it. The one thing that's been interesting is the amount of people who have bought it. Like so many people that I haven't talked to in years have been reaching out to me and saying like, hey, I'm so proud of you. I just bought your book. There was a girl that I haven't spoken to since like 6th grade, and we don't have any contact with each other, but she found me on Instagram and was like, I just want you to know that I just bought your book, and I don't know if you even remember who I am, but I guess the only thing that's changed is like learning who really supports me, and that's something that I anticipated because there were a lot of people in my life who were like, oh my God, I can't wait for you to write a book, I'm going to buy it. But then the time came and I got to see who actually meant it. So that was interesting.
And how does that change things for you? How does that make you feel, like knowing that you have the support of so many people?
I don't know that it changes things, but it makes it easier, I guess. I've been having a lot of writer's block lately, and I don't write as often as I used to. That's just like how it is right now. It's just how it is in my life. But having that support is really meaningful to me because poetry is a really vulnerable art. Any art is vulnerable, but like it's about me. You know what I mean? Like it took a lot of work for me to be emotionally ready to put it into the world. And there's a lot of pieces in there that I wrote for a specific reason, and I included them because they needed to be there. And I knew that, but I was so scared of what certain people were going to think about them, or what kind of reactions they were going to have, or, you know, what my family was going to say. And it was really complicated. So having the support has been really surprising, but also really validating. And yeah, I don't know. It blew my mind. Like, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's kind of crazy.